Hi everybody, it's Mr. Roy here. I'm going to give you a quick rundown of how our online learning environment's going to work. We haven't been using this course web page, Brightspace page for the course so far, but this is going to be kind of our tool going forward for completing work in this course. So I wanted to give you a quick rundown. So the first thing you need to know is you need to go to the e-learning site for the Lakehead board. Many of you have been to this before. You've probably had this for another class. If not, though, don't worry, I can kind of walk you through it. So the link will be posted on our Edsby page, and you're going to look for your classes down here, kind of on the left-hand side, and ours is MBF3C 102, Foundations for College Mathematics. So I'm going to click that one. That's going to take me to the course. Now there will be a big introductory message here. This video will be posted above it, but what I'd like you to do first of all, before you do anything else, is just read this message right here. So kind of go through all the ideas and content so you understand it well. Now I'm going to turn myself into a student here so that you can see what it's going to look like exactly on your end. So this again looks identical. This is what you're going to be seeing. Where we want to go for basically everything is we're going to click on content. So when we click on content, that's going to take us to, you'll see right here, we don't have much. We just have, first of all, our textbook. So we didn't really use this textbook much in class, but it's going to be useful to us now that we're in kind of a learn from home environment. So if you click that, that's a PDF that's the full textbook for this course without the cover on it. And there are going to be times in your learning here where there's going to be some problems you're going to have to try. There's pages that are going to be referenced. So this is how you can get at those. In some places, little pieces of the textbook will be copied, but this is the whole thing if you want to see the entire thing in one go. Of course, there's answers at the back if you want to check those. So we'll go back to our table of contents. And we're going to have a look now at the first item that's here under the textbook. It's chapter 1. So right now there's only one section in chapter 1. It's basic trigonometry. So to start off, in order for us to get familiar with this kind of learning environment, I want to start off with something that we already covered in class. Some stuff that's going to seem kind of familiar, but is an important part of the course, a quick refresher. So we're going to start with some basic trigonometry. So for that, you've got some stuff to read. So you're going to read through the material that's here. There's a video, you're going to click and you're going to watch the video. You'll also notice sometimes there's a PDF document right here. So we can view that as well. Okay, and that's going to take us to, in this case, it's not something out of the textbook. It's a document that has a little more information about trigonometry and some practice questions. We'll go back to our basic trig entry here. And then we've got our practice quiz. Okay, so any section you've got, you're going to have a practice quiz that you can take as many times as you like. So I'm going to click on that practice quiz. And I'm going to say, okay, that looks good. Let's start our quiz. Now, sometimes the practice quiz won't unlock until you've actually clicked on the materials before it. So it's really important that you're not just going straight to the quiz stuff, that you're actually engaging with the content. Now, some of this we did in class, the stuff we're doing right now that we're practicing this week. So if you already feel comfortable with that, you can go straight to the quiz part. But for other stuff that's new, you're going to need to actually carefully read through all the content. So I'm just going to click some answers here. I'm actually not going to do the questions. When you're doing these at home, it's really useful to get some paper and actually sit down and work all these out in front of you so that you don't have to be in a position to guess. So I'm going to go submit quiz. I want to actually work through all those problems. Okay, so submit, and it's going to tell me how I did. Looks like I didn't do great, and which usually happens when you guess. Now, some of these will actually, they'll tell you you got it wrong with the red X, and they'll tell you the right answer with the blue arrow. There may be some cases where it'll say view feedback, and you can actually click view feedback, and it'll tell you where your problems were, where you might have gone off track. Looks like I did get a few of them correct, though. Looks like, oh, I actually got, oh, my overall grade was a 60%. Good for me. Now, that's not quite good enough to unlock the real quiz. You need to score at least 70%. on this quiz, this practice quiz, and when you do score at least 70%, that's going to unlock the actual quiz. Now, that actual quiz should appear underneath here for section 1.1 in chapter 1, but if it doesn't, here's what you can do. You can just go to more, and you can go to quizzes, and after you've got that 70% on your practice quiz, and you can try it as many times as you want, the actual quiz will appear underneath. You don't have to worry about this introductory practice quiz. You don't have to do that. We're just working on practice quiz 1.1. Then the real quiz will appear. That's one that's going to be for marks. Once I complete that quiz for 1.1, it's going to unlock the next section of content. So the next section of content, section 1.2, will appear right below. I go through 1.2 and then 1.3 will appear. I complete 1.3 and then 1.4 will appear, all the way until I can do my chapter 1 test. Remember, as I said, sometimes in order to unlock the next thing, you actually have to go carefully through the content, and I put restrictions on there where you'll have to actually look at the content or watch the videos, things like that, in order to move on to the next piece. If you're having any trouble with that, make sure to message me on Edsby. That's the fastest way to get a hold of me, and let me know that you're having some trouble with that. Okay, so this week, I'd like you to try our first 2 sections. I'm going to go back to viewing it as myself. Okay, so we'll go back to content, and you're going to get to see on my end all the stuff that is there. So here we are for chapter 1. You'll see there's a whole bunch more stuff. There's our chapter 1 review, and after that will be our chapter 1 test. Now, in class, we've done basic trig ratios to solve problems, and sine law. We've done all those 3. But I know it's been a little while, and those are important ones to stay sharp with. So this week, this first week, from April 6th to 9th, what I'm going to ask you to try and do is get through those 3. It should be all familiar stuff you've seen before, but try and get through, and then complete the quizzes for 1.1, 1.2, and 1.3. Next week, we're going to start in on our cosine law, our review, and then we'll do our test for trigonometry. Okay, if you want to keep working ahead, you're welcome to do that. I'm not expecting you to. I'm going to give you kind of guidelines for where you should be at, where you should be trying to keep up to. But if you want to work ahead because you're finding a lot of time and it's going well for you, please feel encouraged to do that. If you're finding it okay and you want to work independently ahead of the game, go for it. I'll be able to see your progress as you go through those, complete those quizzes as we go. Okay, so that's it so far. That's our basic setup. Again, we're looking at the content section, and we're also going into our quizzes when we need to check those as we go. And we need to check them off the list. So for this week, 1.1, 1.2, 1.3, all stuff we did in class. That will hopefully you'll be familiar with, and complete those quizzes for each section. So we feel firm, like, yep, we've refreshed that and we're good to go. Thanks, everybody. Have a great first week of trying this stuff online. Message me on Edsby if you're having trouble. And remember to check out when I'll be doing the Microsoft Teams tutorials, so you can connect with me live and ask any questions that you've got there as well, so I can help you out. All the best. Bye for now.